found us. More podcast, where we want you to know God more deeply, find lasting freedom, discover your destiny and make an eternal difference. Now.
Well, here we are in the frozen tundra of
it is frozen
Snowmageddon, day 397, and we still have not seen the end of the snow because last night we got more snow, and then we got snow coming again today, don't we?
Yep, I'd say we had a good five on the parking lot this morning.
For sure.
And it's freezing in this room right now.
It is.
Yeah, and that's a fan, not a heater.
Yeah, why are we?
I don't have it on.
I've already remarked.
Yeah, well, you won't be complaining when it hits the summertime. We'll have some air.
Alex, did you see the fan I bought for the drummers?
No.
Because I got tired of your, 1967 George Jetson looking fan that was in there. Shows up on the live stream. Yeah. I got them this little, they can mount it on hardware and stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Give them a little air.
I'm going to get you one, too.
Yeah, just have it with me all the time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't need more fans.
I have a fan hat that I wear when I go to Life Fest.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
That thing is unreal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's off the hook. Damn. So this week is going to be kind of awesome. We got two visitors today, actually. Pastor Amy's here and Pastor Ted is here.
Pastor Ted's a visitor?
He is not.
Now. I know. I was trying to think. Well, yeah.
We haven't been here in a few
We
weeks.
had the snowstorm the 1 week. I don't remember what the other one was.
Then you got booted a couple times by guests.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah.
Which, rightly so. I was excited to hear from.
Yeah, well, we only have
spouses.
We only have 4 spots around the table, so it's kind of hard to add another one. Ted, this week is going to be.
This is the week.
What's happening this week?
What's going on? Yeah. What's going on in your life, Ted?
We got major life stuff happening. I'm getting married on Saturday.
All right, yeah.
I was the thing that was coming to my mind all during the staff meeting was Wedding Crasher.
That's right, yeah.
I know. I said that. So the thing has been, with Rachel. Rachel has a relationship with the Nortons previous to Harbor Light, which is fun. But it's the Rach. I know that people will want to come to this wedding.
Yeah.
She's like, look, dude. We're doing this fast. Well, not fast. Sorry. We're doing it soon. And we just bought a house and it's expensive. So we will do something for everybody in the summer. So
right, yeah, that's a good way.
If you're listening to this and you didn't get an invite.
Pastor Gary's going to show up and is like, I'm here to pray.
Hey, I was just doing some janitorial stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Saturday at 2, buddy. Sit in that room.
More and more people are doing it very intimately, though. I mean, our son did it like that, too.
Yeah.
Just
it doesn't take a long time with wedding industry stuff to go, this is so expensive.
Geez.
Yeah, so
we did a wedding last summer here in Toski. They paid $74,000 to do the wedding. And I can't even remember
the wedding.
I can't even remember the venue. It was like a barn kind of thing.
Yeah. 74 is unbelievable.
That's a lot of money.
So my daughter worked at Colonial Inn this summer and she was there for a wedding and she overheard the flowers were $75,000.
What, the flowers themselves?
Flowers.
No, no, thank you. No.
How'd you like to have that kind of change?
Well,
flowers
some
that will
people
die.
think that's so important, right? They do that.
My goodness.
We watch shows and people pay $10,000 for cakes.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a cake. It's going to be gone.
Right.
Yeah. And then
then you're going to try and eat the top a year later and you're going to be like, this is disgusting.
It's just torture.
So Paige, you and Lisa K for sure. There's seats for you. Come on in Saturday.
We'll see.
Just sneak in. Sneak in.
Rachel might yell. I'm just kidding.
No, but on the T list for
this summer though in the campground and we're all fired up. It's gonna be great. So it's all kinds of celebrating love. So
it's gonna be a party.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a party.
Yep.
Well, so that's going on this week. We got a lot of things happening around here. Pastor Gary tends to start his day now in the winter at 2:00 in the morning.
Yep.
And Were
you here at 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I haven't been home yet.
Oh, Paige. Were you on the roof?
No, I was blowing.
He's on the swing shift right now. He's like, it shows up whenever the snow shows up. Yeah. So that's I will keep you awake. We'll try to keep you awake.
I'm okay.
Yeah. We'll keep reminding you.
What is the decision on when snow is stopping? I know there's been some discrepancy. I'm a half.
We can make that decision.
Well, I think there. So I have this.
Good with
I have
that.
this theory that there are two types of people when they look at the forecast.
Right.
Oh, it's going to be 34. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Or it's 34. Right.
I'm the 34.
I'm the guy who's always like, it's no big deal. It's coming. We're coming. We're on the thing. So I saw the polar vortex thing. I was saying this in staff meeting the other day. And I think it was MLive was the article, and it said, we are on the other side of the vortex. So it's a big circle moving, and we're on the outer part of the circle now.
Yeah.
So
Well, I just know
If that means
all
a
my
month
experience
left,
of being a
but-
senior pastor, Easter weekend, we're going to get snow. It's guaranteed.
right.
It's going to
Okay?
happen. Yeah. So get
and
ready.
it's spring break too. So
Well, according to Brad Freilich, in 2080, Michigan will be more like Kentucky weather.
bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be
I'm ready
dead.
I'm ready for it.
But I'll pass that hope on to everybody else. So that they'll.
But you'll get the incremental changes till we're there. So
Yeah, but I can handle that weather. I don't know. 2080. That's what we're looking for. 2080. So you got to stay alive.
I'm
long
just
enough.
looking forward to June.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's when my hope is that there's no more snow on the ground.
for real. And again, for 6 months out of the year, you can't beat it. We live in a beautiful place.
Yep.
But we're in it, folks.
6 months.
That's the optimistic.
months?
He's so optimistic.
We get
all the
6
time.
months of good weather, right? No.
Okay, I don't know.
Fall you can't beat fall in northern Michigan, friends.
Right,
Let's
It is
be-
the best time of
but
the year.
winter came early this year.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, this has been brutal. Cold and lots of snow.
Let's be honest. Ted's on dopamine tablets. Let's be honest.
He's excited about this weekend. Life
Yeah,
is
that's what's
good.
going on.
Life is good, guys.
Ted has been taking dopamine tablets for the whole winter.
I mean, he's been dating her. Like he's just living in a whole nother
Serotonin,
bubble.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
serotonin levels
That's awesome.
great. The rest of us are dealing with reality. Okay. Do you wonder why you take the time each week to listen to more podcasts? I'll tell you why. More stands for maximizing opportunities for right now and eternity. So stop asking why you listen. Just never forget to listen and pass it on. And again, thank you so much for everybody that continues to listen to our podcast. Again, numbers keep going up. People keep listening around the world. And yeah, we do have people in India that listen to us. Like Pastor Gary mentioned last week, we get weird little pockets of listeners that pick us up. Well, today's episode is brought to you by shoveling snow that never stops coming. That's right. Not a snowfall, not a storm, an ongoing emotional event. Have you ever shoveled your driveway only to watch it refill before you put the shovel down? Well, introducing round 2 and round 3 and round 4. Featuring the snowplow that waits until you're done just to redecorate the end of your driveway, the deceptive it's slowing down moment that lasts exactly 90 seconds, and the false hope of checking the radar like it owes you money. Shoveling snow in northern Michigan because gym memberships are expensive, but Lake Michigan is free and violent. But available in back pain, wet socks, and that one patch of ice that humbles your spirituality. Shoveling snow because winter isn't a season, it's a personality trait.
So the other day, I was riding in the church big blower. It's a big tractor with a blower on the front. And I had a lady, while I was on the road,
Yeah.
she pulled her car over and stopped me. And she's like, "Do you work for the county?" And I'm like, nope, I don't.
Yeah.
She's like, "They keep throwing snow in my driveway."
Yeah.
And she was just going off on me. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
just a citizen like you.
Yeah, I work here.
Come to church on Sunday.
Yeah,
We'd
right.
love to pray with you about that.
You need some deliverance.
She's all ready to
That's
rip you.
rough.
We had our mailbox taken out by a plow
Yeah.
last week.
Well, the stand is there, but the box.
Well,
was not.
part of the stand
Okay.
is there. Part of this, they took it right off. I mean, and so I
Decapitated.
could not find my mailbox anywhere. It must have gone quite a ways. So it was yesterday, the day before. It was sunny outside. I'm like, I'm going to look for this thing.
I'm sure it had mail in it. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I go over the snowbank that is now where my mailbox is.
Also, I videotaped
Yeah, she did.
from
And
the porch.
Literally,
Just so everyone knows.
I get off the top of the snowbank and walk down, and I sneak. I mean, I fall.
You
sink.
sneak, you sunk.
I sunk up to over my waist, and I could not move.
No
I was
way.
stuck.
Really?
And I'm like, Amy,
Couldn't even see
I
at the
can't
top
move.
of his
I'm like,
head.
I can't get my feet out, and I'm like stuck there. And so I'm having to.
You have
crawl.
video of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Amy,
I
please
was
share
like,
that.
live your best life. I don't know what to do for you. He was wearing a Lion's ball cap, and I could only see the little button on the top. That was literally it. And I was just on the porch, like,
Can we have this?
Oh, my
Can
God.
we see this?
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
Stop,
So you
drop,
guys
and roll,
you
Alex.
lost the mailbox.
Yeah.
I lost one this year.
Okay.
The one that I have right now, my mailbox and the pole are doing the limbo. It's
Yeah.
bent
Yeah.
all the way over, and almost
Yeah.
the mailman just like reaches down to get to my
Put it in there.
mailbox.
Well, he walked the box back over, and I said, "Why are you bringing the box back?" And he's like, "Well, I got to figure out how we're gonna mount it." And I was like, "The neighbors just stuck it on the snowbank."
There you go.
Just left it
I
up
was
on
going to
top.
say, just
yeah, they
shove
just
it in there.
like because the snowbank is as high as our
Right.
pole, and I was like, "Just set it down on the snowbank."
Carve yourself out a little.
That's it.
Insert
Just
it in
shove
there.
it in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And
Come on.
it's sitting on the porch, so
Right.
we have to go pick up
It's
mail.
igloo land anyways. What are we doing here?
I don't know, but I finally found it. It was like a little corner of it
Yeah.
was poking out, and I had to dig it out because it was all frozen in there
Yeah.
from the water, freezing and stuff. But I literally could not get out of there. It was like quicksand.
Yeah.
I'm crawling, like an army guy trying to get over this hill, and she's just standing there going, "You can do it." I'm like, yeah.
When he went over, I was like, I don't know how he's coming back because there was no way to get around it. I'm like, maybe you should just sit on the hill and like slide down it. That's what I
should've done that,
suggested,
yeah.
and he didn't go for it. But
No,
I
tried.
believe in you.
I know. It's like, well, I lost my husband in the snow.
We'll find him in spring.
Yeah, we'll get him there. He'll
The
be fun.
snowbanks are crazy high though. Like I've noticed that driving through my neighborhood of like, you got to creep out because you can't see around the snowbank.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a special machine that sticks out the side now and
Okay.
plows it and knocks the snowbanks down so you can see over
Yeah.
top of them. So
Yeah.
I watched that run down the road the other day.
Well, in Sheboygan, they like to plow the snow into the center of the road.
Oh,
yeah,
So like when you
it's
come
a
to
thing.
an intersection, you can't see anybody. Really, you have to like
that's so
sneak
crazy.
around it, and then hopefully there's
Yeah.
not a semi coming your way, and then you go for it. You gun it.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
I haven't seen snow like this since I was a teenager, though.
It- I do
with
feel
the
like this is-
mountains,
yeah, this
where
is
you
a lot.
couldn't see out when you're
Right.
pulling out.
And usually, isn't
Crazy.
it like when it's super cold, you get less snow?
Yeah.
Isn't that a
Yeah.
thing?
You're supposed
well,
to.
once the bay freezes,
Yeah.
then it
Oh,
stops
I
all
see.
of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when it does get super cold, when it gets down in the single digits, you don't get as much snow.
Yeah.
It's that 15 to 25
Sure. Yeah.
temperature that loves to do the lake effect.
Well, we getting
We can
snow,
stop that right
0
now.
degrees here.
Yeah,
so.
right. We've been getting it. So that's been a lot of stuff going on around here. We're gonna come back with ID break or with an ID break, and then we're gonna talk about who's around the table.
You're listening to More Podcast, where the unreal meets the real and something happens with gamma radiation, and then the More Podcast is born. Keep listening. There's so much more.
What? You confused yet? We're sitting here trying.
I'm
going around the
confused,
table.
too.
Yeah, I'm confused.
3 men doing
who am I
weird
doing?
sign language.
Amy.
Okay, got it. I thought I was doing that.
Well, he owns a snow brush that has seen things. He calls black ice a character building opportunity, and he has strong opinions about windshield washer fluid viscosity. Put your hands together for the only man who preheats his truck in August. He
doesn't drive a truck.
His Subaru in August just to stay ready. Pastor Ted.
He drives a Subaru.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Amy, be nice.
I will.
He's got lots of thoughts on my server.
Pastor Ted.
Who? Amy, you're
Yeah,
up.
Amy.
I am?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
say something?
Yes.
This
Pastor Gary's.
Okay. He doesn't check the forecast. He negotiates with it. He considers 28 degrees light hoodie weather. And he's emotionally prepared for school to cancel and then uncancel. So make some noise for the only man who treats lake effect snow like a squirrel attacking his house. Pastor Gary.
Awesome. All right, and so the man who has all of the talent, knows what every button and knob is, the amazing man who wears his own personal fan so that the wind blows in his hair, The man who builds snowmen out of icebergs.
Yes.
And also wrote out his mission statement in snow.
Yes.
Pastor Alex Norton.
That's it.
How did I do
That's
that?
it. Uses the snow in wintertime.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Or uses a fan in wintertime.
Yeah, I do.
She walked into northern Michigan winter and said, "That's cute." She owns boots that mean business, and she can smile sweetly while absolutely dominating a snow day. Put your hands together for the one and only woman who can host a podcast and recognize your life is in the same afternoon. Pastor Amy.
Yeah, there she is.
Let's go.
That's good. So
We're glad to have you.
yeah, we are.
Thanks
So
for being here.
Why are you here? You're here because we had the talk last Sunday, right?
And you said, get on the podcast.
Well, no, that
You were on the couch.
Because
that
we
was the
preached
rule.
on
That was
Sunday,
the
yeah.
rule for the
Okay.
series. Is if you were on the couch, you
Yes.
had to come to the podcast, so you didn't get on.
But I didn't know that until after.
Oh, well, I didn't want to tell you ahead of
But
time.
here we
Or
are.
you might have never
Yeah.
gotten on the couch. So
Is
That's
this
why I'm here.
harder or easier than Sunday morning?
I don't know. I'm used to this now, the podcast.
Yeah, okay, good.
So it's better.
yeah,
In the
yeah.
beginning, I was like, ooh, I don't know about
Really?
that.
We
I was a little
didn't.
nervous.
I feel like
we didn't know.
I feel like it's easier to hang out with your friends and
Yeah,
crack
Yeah.
some jokes, right? Rather than
Right.
Sunday morning, which is
Oh,
a little
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
formal. But
yeah. You can't
Right.
really
Yeah.
get away with that too much. Yeah.
Not jokes, yeah.
Yeah, you try to be good.
Right.
Although Mandy McGockian, I think she did a great job. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
She did amazing.
she took that idea and ran with it and did a really good job. So it was pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah, the art of the interviewer, right?
Yeah, I think
We
she
all
did.
know great interviewers and what makes them great. And
Yeah.
Mandy, you're a great interviewer. Good job, Mandy.
She embodied. Who else did she say?
We didn't get a car, though,
We didn't.
which you
There
could
was
have
the-
used one.
she was-
Since you drive a Subaru.
Right.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
here we go.
The Oprah moment. You get a car.
right.
You get a car.
Looking for my Oprah moment.
Yeah, well, you're saving up for a Tacoma, right?
No, I'm not.
You're not gonna
I'm
do that?
saving up for whatever Rachel tells me we're saving.
That
I don't
look at how smart
understand.
that
that's a
is.
smart.
I don't
move.
fully understand what's happening, but
Right,
I
yeah.
understand there's somebody who's got a plan. So
So you just like yes, dear. Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned how to say that really quick. You know, saying yes, dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. You learn how to do that really quick.
Right.
Because you really want to just have a good.
that's right. I can't
peaceful
wait
life.
to say yes to you.
Yeah, it's
Can't wait.
not bad. It's not a bad thing. We're taking an ID break. Come back with Harbor Light Bible Trivia. Pastor Gary, you ready?
I am ready.
All right, we'll be right back.
Listening to more podcast is like buying a used car. It seems like a good idea at the time. Then you realize that this is going to be an investment. Much like more podcast. So stay a while and kick the tires for an hour. Not too hard. We do tend to have some things fall off. More podcast.
Well, here we are with Harbor Light Bible Trivia, and we still have the Wheel of Destiny by Wilson Insurance in the room, so it hasn't disappeared anywhere. And if you play this game with us, Bible Trivia, you can win a Crooked Biscuit gift certificate for $20.
So I'm just checking logistics here.
Yeah.
So we always do this drawing at the end of the month.
Right.
I think we're at the end of the month.
Oh, okay. So this is
We're
the,
drawing today.
So we're drawing today.
We're spinning the wheel.
Okay.
This is for the $20 gift certificate to the Crooked Biscuit, which is now located in Wolverine, correct?
No.
No. That's
It's
still in
still in
Lansing.
Alanson.
Still in Lansing. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a little closer to home.
She's going to open a restaurant in Wolverine.
All right, you
Yeah.
don't have to
Oh,
cross
cool.
you don't have to cross any kind of a border
No.
to get to it.
No,
Okay.
you don't have to go to Canada.
Okay.
Ted, are
And
you
it's
ready?
worth a ride.
ready.
It's worth a ride.
Ted's
Here we go.
golden
Delicious.
hands of wheel spinning here. Oh, Dave wins.
Dave.
Dave.
Wins the Crooked Biscuit.
That's my cousin Dave.
Okay,
My cousin Dave. He's in he's in California right
Okay,
now.
All
Dave,
right.
do you want an Alanson gift certificate?
Or do you want to make a donation to the pastor?
That's right.
Oh,
what I'm
we'll
saying.
do one or the
Okay.
other. Yeah.
We'll find out.
All
from
right,
Dave.
we'll find out
we
from
have
Dave.
another gift for Dave?
Yeah, maybe we could just get him a different.
This is really low budget, people, but we need to.
Well,
He's out in California.
That's
Pastor Gary's own
$40.
pocket.
We're doing
yeah.
good.
He's
Some of
out in
those gift
California. We need
certificates.
something else for him.
Okay.
all
We'll
right.
do
So
something.
Dave
wins.
wins.
He's a winner.
This time around in February.
Yay.
He could have won a Crooked Biscuit gift certificate, but we'll see what we can come up with.
All right.
We still got stuff.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Question
Here's
for
the
the
question
week.
for today.
Here we go.
We have Youth Sunday coming up this weekend at Harbor Light. So you
Yes.
will want to come out and
Yes.
see the amazing young people as they lead worship. And Pastor Matt's going to be doing the message. I'm sure you'll get a young person up there to do half of it because he's good at doing that. And so our question is going to be based...
Delegation.
Yep, he is a delegator extraordinaire. And so the question is going to be based around youthness. And so the question is, how old was Samuel when his mom dropped him off at the temple?
Oh, good one.
No hints.
How old
No.
was Samuel when his mom drops him off at the temple?
We don't have
and he
the
now
problem with
becomes. We're going to ballpark it.
Yeah,
it's going to be a
ballpark,
ballpark
yeah.
answer. Okay, a ballpark answer, and it should really be an interesting question. Could you leave your kid in the hands of somebody else to raise them at that age? That's an amazing thing.
Like going up to Pastor Gary and say, "Hey, Pastor Gary, you're going to take my kid now."
Please have my kid. Especially after she had prayed for a child for
Right.
so long and God granted her this son,
Yeah.
and then she's going to take him now.
I don't know.
The bonus question for Pastor Ted would be: did she go on to have any other children?
Oh,
Did Samuel have a brother or sister?
that's going to be some research right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to look that up. That's
So here at More Podcasts, you're winning biscuit
Yeah.
certificates and learning something about the Bible.
There you go.
Maybe
right.
getting a laugh or two. This is great.
No.
I don't know if you know this about the biscuits, but they change every day.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
So there's always the original, but then there's always different flavors.
Okay.
Worth it.
Sweet.
Yeah, it is worth it. So the reason why we mentioned that will answer the question because Pastor Hunter has a tendency to
Yeah.
be really excited about answering the question.
Yeah, I would
he's
see
like,
that.
I got it. And then
Right.
he gives it away. And you're like, all right, well, it's an easy week.
Okay, we get it. No, there's the
That's why I'm looking at Alex with like
Everyone's a winner.
the hints.
I'm good. I'm all good. Yeah.
Everyone gets a participation
You get
trophy.
a crooked biscuit certificate. And you get a crooked certificate.
Pastor Gary becomes broke overnight. Yeah. So if you want to be a part of this, all you have to do is send it to harborlightbibletrivia@gmail.com, harborlightbibletrivia@gmail.com, all lowercase, and let us know the answer. And you can be put on the Wheel of Destiny, sponsored by Wilson Insurance.
Sweet.
And be a part of this.
If 1 + 1 = 2, then listening to more podcasts from week to week equals? We're not sure, but our fans say it adds up to something. Just don't overthink it. Sit back, we have more to come.
Well, today's conversation is not light. It's not theoretical, and it's definitely not polished. We're talking about marriage, but not the highlighted reel version, not the anniversary post with the perfect lighting and the couldn't do life without you caption. We're talking about what happens when two people love Jesus, serve in ministry and publicly, and behind the curtain things start cracking. Because here's the truth. You can build a ministry and still neglect marriage. You can preach grace and still forget to give it at home. You can love each other deeply and still slowly drift. Pastor Alex and Amy are stepping into this conversation not as experts with a formula, but as a couple who walk through honeymoon, conflict, exhaustion, the D word being spoken, and the long road back through grace. This episode is about expectations. It's about pressure. It's about what love can fix by itself, what love can't fix by itself. And it's about why grace is not weakness, it's warfare. So whether you're married or struggling or single, divorced, hopeful, or just curious how two pastors almost wrecked it all and found their way back, lean in. This one's honest. Let's go and get into it.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks, Pastor Amy, for being a part. And Pastor Alex, thank you guys for being very vulnerable on Sunday. I know it was super impactful. You'd mentioned that you got lots of folks coming to pray with you and lots of...
We did, yeah.
Sounds like good work to be done in the future.
Did you have any vulnerability hangover?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes that does happen. Yeah, I think that we've talked about our situation before and a couple other situations, and so it was something that we were familiar with. Having, but I think that what we had talked about in the car going home was like, you're always worried about once you open that door, right? You show the vulnerability, and then people are like, oh my gosh, these people are
Right.
Yeah. And that was totally the farthest thing from the truth. Actually, what we got was more people were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm like, going through it, or I wish that somebody would have said that earlier, because we've never really had time to talk about it with anybody. And it was good that somebody spoke out about it. So it was good that way.
You know, the other thing too is that it's not, you only get like a snapshot, like a brief moment of time in our relationship, right? So you don't hear all the gritty, we can't possibly get into all of that and what caused for that word to come up deeply and stuff. We only, touched base on like the ministry aspect of things and stuff like that.
Well, the name of the show is More. So
Yeah, right.
we have time. We can get into the gritty.
If you didn't feel vulnerability hangover on
We
Sunday,
will now.
That's a show.
well, yeah, let's ask
Very
the
true.
question then. When you guys look back on the early parts of your marriages, you certainly came in with marriage like everybody does, with expectations. What did you specifically assume that would come naturally, and then that later, what required the most intentional work?
I think for me, it was, I really just thought that love would be the natural thing. Like
Okay.
that would be the thing that kind of held us together and always was there.
Yeah.
And it was, but it was something that has to be worked on every day. I have to choose him every day. He has to choose me every day. And so without that, things drift. And we drift further apart. And so that's really, really easy to do. And you can say, well, I love you, I cooked dinner for you tonight, or I did this, or I did that kind of talk. But I thought that would come naturally, which is also very strange for me to think that, because it did obviously not come naturally for like my parents multiple times. And so I should have known better that it was work.
Yeah.
But I thought my love was different, which it's not. Our love is not different, and other people's love is not different. Every one of them takes work to do. And so I just thought it would come natural. It's the same thing with like childbirth too. Like my mom had no problems like delivering children. She had 5 girls, and they literally just fell out of her. I had like serious complications and issues. Like we're all so different. And so it's like, why wasn't I the same as my mom? Why couldn't it happen easily? So that's the thing with love too, is just that it just doesn't come easy. The feelings of the butterflies and that kind of thing, that's all there, but then that dissipates. It doesn't mean that you don't find your spouse attractive. That's not happening, but that initial chemistry reaction leaves after a while. And that's normal.
Yeah.
It should leave, because you want a deeper love. You don't want just a surface thing,
Right.
I'm going to ask Alex to go a little bit deeper on that. I think, Amy, you're doing a beautiful job. So in pre-marriage counseling here at Harbor Light, we like to cover the 5 areas all couples are going to struggle with. So we started pre-marriage counseling last night with somebody, and we just said, look, you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
All marriages have problems. Get your expectations where they need to be. Let's get some tools in our belt so that when these things happen. So here are the 5 areas, and I want you to maybe expound on the one that was most glaring. It's communication, conflict resolution, intimacy, money, and parenting / in-laws, outlaws is what we call them. What would be the area that was the most glaring, or was the most brought about this drift?
I think for me it was conflict resolution. I think that was the issue a lot of times, to put it under that heading, because my expectations were there was a lot of assumptions coming in, and I didn't realize that somebody could have another opinion. It's like shocking to me. Like we're in love. Like what the heck? And so when those ideas were coming out and things were happening, I didn't deal with them well. That was a big problem, is that, behind closed doors where nobody was watching, I mean, we would get knocked down, drag out fights over the dumbest stuff, because I didn't understand how she could think anything differently. And so it just created a lot of frustration for us, because usually, my mode of operation, especially in an argument, was to get louder, to shut her down.
Okay.
And I thought, that would work. And for a little while it would work, right? It would, I don't know. She wasn't scared of me, but she would, didn't want to have to deal with this loud idiot, going on and on and on. And so she would just kind of just let it go. And I was like, I didn't realize that this idea of having conflict and fighting fair, fighting the way Scripture tells us to.
Yep.
I wasn't doing that. I was trying to find ways to just shut it down. But I had learned that. I had learned that from other people in my life that would do the same thing. And so when it came to these moments where we have these conversations, it was just easy for me to move into that mode of operation. Yeah.
What is sorry, go for it, Peach.
I was just going to say, you said something that's key, and I think everyone needs to hear it. You're going to have fights.
Yeah.
Make sure your fight is productive.
Yeah.
Right. That it moves you towards more security, more being in love, and not away from it.
Right.
So have a fight, but fight fair. There are rules to having fights, and let's make sure this fight moves us together. So that's all I want to say. Good job on that.
That was great. You had mentioned the idea of you had to unlearn.
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that you had to unlearn coming into
Okay, can I
marriage?
just give one thing for conflict resolution that helps couples, because we didn't know this, but we've learned it. Conflict is big. There's a lot of things in your life that you have conflict over, and so some of them you can handle right now. Other things are so big that we have to go back to it, and it's when you don't go back to it that stuff piles up.
Yep.
So we suggest that people put, if we're not going to get a resolution today, you got to hang it up somewhere, like a Post-it note or something. And if you're upset and I'm upset and we're way too fired up for this, we got to do this later. So we got to write it down so that we deal with it so it doesn't come back up later.
Yep.
So we write it down and then we come back to it later when we're both sound mind and things like that. So I just want to add
Make
that.
an appointment.
That's good practical advice there.
Yeah.
That's great.
We have to do that.
Yep.
So, all right.
Yeah,
sorry,
were there
Ted.
things, you had models of marriage in your life that were good and bad, right? So what were the things that maybe you had to unlearn? Because you had mentioned that, Alex.
Yeah.
I think that's really really poignant. Are there things that you went into marriage with that you were like, this ain't the way it's going to be?
Well, I mean, for me, I talked about it on Sunday. I mean, one of the things was the mythological model that, men, when they get married, that women just submit to them, and then, the man's the king of the castle, and there's no conversation.
That's
because
not the case.
That's not the
He's
case. And what I say goes, right, yeah.
Not the case.
And, my wife and I, we tried what we call like the traditional classical model of marriage. And, it stunk, because I realized soon enough that there are moments where I needed her wisdom on something, and I was too prideful or too egotistical because of that model that I was not willing to have a conversation about it. And so, my wife and I, we in our marriage, we've always practiced the gift-based egalitarian relationship. That's the way we do it. And that works for us. It may not work for everybody else, but it works for us. And so what that means is that,
But that took some time to get there.
That took some time to get there. But,
we weren't there overnight. Yeah.
We worked through the process of, if it's finances or whatever, I know that she's better at it. So I submit to her direction in that. And if there's something else I'm good at, she submits the direction there. And we work together as a team. It's not like one rules over everything. And so that works well for us. And that's the way we taught our kids, and it seems to be working well. But, that was just one aspect. The other aspect was, the conflict part, learning how to not be in conflict with each other all the time. But then also this concept of what love is to be a choice. I think at some point in your marriage, you think that you begin to start thinking like it's a transaction or contract.
Yeah.
And that there is an addendum that you can walk away from it and say it's over because you don't meet these expectations. And that was one thing I brought up on Sunday, is that God really started speaking to Amy's heart about this, because she started, she came from broken marriages too, but she learned it quicker than I did, that it's important that we look at love in a very covenant biblical way. And what is so important about that is that there is no addendum. There is no option out, that you have to work through. You have to fight through it. And that's the part I think was difficult, because in your flesh, you don't want to fight through it.
Yeah.
You want the easy path. You want what you think is going to be marriage. And you realize that that's not really what builds teams. And one of the things that we learned, any person that lifts weights realizes there's a lot of pain before you start getting progress.
Right.
And in marriage, it's the same way. There's going to be pain. There's going to be suffering until you finally get to the progress. And where we are now at 30 years of marriage, we're a team. And we're strong, and we know what to do. We have a lot of muscle memory emotionally now in the marriage, so that we don't have those same problems that come back because of that. I don't know, Amy, you got it.
Yeah, I would also say too that we bring into the marriage, obviously, I came from the broken marriages and divorce and affairs and things like that. Alex came from parents that stayed together but that it was completely toxic.
They're roommates, yeah.
And then moved out, separated, moved back. It was just an absolute mess. And so he's coming in with that, and I'm coming in with this, and
That's a lot.
it's like we're both trying to figure it out for ourselves. And like I'm coming in like divorce is never ever going to be spoken in our home. This is who I've chosen for life. I've got to make this work.
Yeah.
And he's coming in like I'm not going to repeat
Yeah.
what my parents are doing. Like we didn't even want to be around them. It was so bad.
Wow.
So you bring this stuff in too, but I don't even know what the question was, but
Very good.
So one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I share this, because you just made reference to the Christian out, which is my spouse cheated on me, so I am out. I have the exit card. I can use this card. I'm going to lay it down, and I have been. People have said, Pastor Gary just gave me the green light. I can get out of this marriage. When that never actually happens, I'm always like, fight for it. And let's go back to the passage of scripture in Matthew where these religious leaders were like, hey, look, my spouse cheated on me. They created a whole scenario. And Moses said that we can get divorced because of this. Yeah. And the response of Jesus is very important. He goes, because of your hard hearts, Moses gave you the out.
Yeah.
So, but that's not what God intended.
Right.
He meant for this to be permanent, like Amy was saying, that we fight for it. So, yes, because of your hard heart, he's given you the out if there's been infidelity that has taken place. But you should be fighting for it, and you should be able to even work through that.
Yeah.
that's why I think so strongly that the relationship with Jesus individually has to be what rules in the marriage. I can't go to heaven on Alex's relationship with Jesus. Right. But if my relationship is solid, and I know that we have people in our church and in my life that are married to people that are not Christian. And whether they've walked away or they, got married knowing that they were Christians and stuff, like it's very difficult when somebody in the marriage is not living the Christian life, right? And they are not sold out to Jesus. That is different. It becomes something that the conflict becomes greater because it's deeper and we can't seem to get over that hump. So when there is an affair that has come about, or even if it's an emotional affair and not even a sexual affair, there are boundaries that are crossed. I believe wholeheartedly that kind of stuff can be restored for sure. But it starts with the relationship with Jesus. And that's what we talk to couples about, is that how's your relationship with Jesus? And sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees because this is all they see, right? It's the pain and it's the agony and it's the person sitting across from them that has done this awful thing to them. And it's like, hang on, we got to get back to Jesus first before we do any of this. We can't even talk about this stuff because you're spiritually sick.
Yep.
It's a spiritual sickness, and you have to get well.
Isn't it amazing that the Bible even addresses when you're married to a person who's not following Jesus? The Bible addresses it.
Yes.
And now it points it right to the woman, that the woman is saved and her husband isn't. Yeah. But the principle is the same, right? You continue to be an example for the hope. It actually doesn't even give you a guarantee. It's just for the hope that they might turn their life over to Jesus. So even then, you don't have the out card.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we brought up on Sunday too, is this idea of what is the purpose of the marriage, right? And I think that was one thing that began to start changing us as well. Like if my whole idea of the purpose of the marriage is to fill a hole in my life so that I don't have I have all my emotional things taken care of, all my sexual needs taken care of, then that's good. But the reason why God put you together is you're a missional team.
Yeah.
And in that missional team, you're a mission to each other, and that's what the First Peter passage is about. Is I'm speaking into her life. She's my first disciple. She's my first mission to bring to the kingdom, and so that is the effort that I'm putting into this relationship. Yeah, there are a lot of perks to being married. There are a lot of great things, but my first responsibility is to her soul and to her eternity, missionally, and so it changes the way I operate in conversation with her, how I deal with her, because this is a fellow person in the kingdom, not just my wife. This is somebody that is a fellow disciple in the kingdom, and
that's
so it changes
a Christian covenant.
That's a Christian covenant, yeah.
But we do have people in our congregation that are not in that.
They're in contractual.
Yeah, they're in contractual, and it's who knows what it's from, like from the very start, or maybe something happened later on, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so this is not hopeful for them. When they hear this conversation, it's like they have no idea what I'm going through.
Yeah. Right.
And it is literally very, very difficult for somebody in that situation. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. That is a horrible situation. And and so that's where we want to bring hope, is like, commit to praying for your spouse if they are not saved. Like, commit to praying for your spouse on the daily basis, intercessing for them that they will get saved, and that they're not that they're going to be changed and that they're going to just be like this glorious person that you've always hoped them to be. You want to change all their attributes about them and their character. It's not about that. It's about them getting saved, and to really get into that so that you can have the Christian covenant marriage and not contractional anymore. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because we see a lot of that in counseling, a lot.
But, add to what you're saying, good point, is that we are, as a believer, if we're the believer in the relationship and they're not, Peter tells us to go above and beyond, to be an example.
Yeah.
To not, just because I'm in a marriage where my husband or my wife is always a cynic, it says nasty things every now and then. Peter doesn't give us out. Right. He says, go back at it with more blessings.
Yeah.
Go back at it with more love.
Right.
Because you're representing what you believe in Christ. And so to find those opportunities to do that. And that is not easy. And I'm not saying to the person that's going through it right now in their own marriage, like, suck it up, buttercup.
Right.
But you have a responsibility in that regard. And as much as it's not as fun, I mean, it'd be great if you were throwing the dice and you wound up with the best guy in the world and you didn't have to have any of these problems. But the truth is, a lot of marriages, even in the church, are in those situations. And your responsibility is to go above and beyond, because your first responsibility is to the kingdom of God. And that person is your first responsibility to bring him into the kingdom, more so than anybody else. Your Billy Graham mission field is in your home.
Yeah,
that's a
and
good
if
word.
your marriage is falling apart and you do not feel close to the Lord and you feel like you have the out, I would encourage you to spiritually get back to the Lord and really seek the Lord and really follow him and see what he does, and just give it some rest on the marriage for like 6 months.
And as the pastor of this church, I want to tell you, Amy, high five on speaking truth in a very serious, compassionate way. If you're considering divorce, you need to pump the brakes, get 6 months in line with Jesus, and try to, serve them and love them and to see what God does. Okay. And I really, commend you for saying that, because it doesn't matter what church, how many people go, there's always going to be some people that are struggling.
Yeah.
And, for all the reasons that you just said, 2 people weren't even Christians. They got married and one person gets saved. Right. And I mean, that happens a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. So you guys shared the story. You were a young married couple, and you weren't just working on your own marriage, but you were building a ministry together. So what are the warning signs that a couple is winning publicly but losing privately? What are the warning signs?
Yeah, I would. That was the thing we brought up. I think it was interesting. I don't think people realize. We actually started 2 churches in the Salvation Army. One college church and then one in Lansing. It was a reboot of that church to get it back up and running again. And so in front of people, I mean, we seemed very energetic, very excited about what we're doing, and we were about the ministry. But I think the things that we started noticing in the relationship that happened was that it was very compartmentalized relationship. Like Amy and I could, sit in a situation in ministry and look like we're totally fine with each other. And then behind closed doors, getting in the car or getting home, I mean, it was just like, we were at each other.
Cut the tension with a knife.
Yeah. I think, Amy, you said this, and you kind of said it in a little bit of a funny way, but it was probably the most pointed thing that you said was, I'm praying that he becomes a Christian at home. He's a pastor in the pulpit, but not a Christian at home. That was that set the tone for what was really going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and people, I mean, when people come to me too, like, we have no clue, like, what's happening behind closed doors. Our kids knew, but even our kids probably didn't know how deep and, whatever, but they had a clue. And so, I think that that's the the part that we get at, that we start praying like, change him, change him, change him, change him, take care of him, do all the work on him. It's just such a bad, it's bad because it's us. I mean, I had so much hatred and ugliness and anger and hurt and pain towards him that I wasn't dealing with because it was all him. Every time he responded to me, didn't look at me, didn't do something correctly, it was all focused on him. And I did nothing with myself because I was not the one that was at fault, right? So change him. Yeah. And that's a big deal. And we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And we were pretty good actors. And, when COVID hit, I have 4 sisters, and all 5 of us girls ended up moving houses and changing jobs during COVID. It was really strange, actually. And all of our brother-in-laws also. Super random and weird. And when that happened, my sisters ended up staying at home with their spouses. They were working from home. And every single one of them said to me, I have absolutely no clue how you work with your husband every single day. Like, I cannot take it any longer. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Right. And we're so used to it. But we are so used to the work and to the busyness and life and ministry and all of the problems that came with it that we were able to constantly have that. That was the excuse. It became an excuse. So there's always an excuse in a marriage as to why you can't work on it, why you can't take control over it, have the Lord help you with it. You're always hurt more than somebody else. It's always that way. And I know there's people in the congregation on Sunday that heard what we had to say, but heard also they don't know my situation, and my situation is worse than theirs. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to hear all the dirty details about us because it's bad. Right. But that's what somebody's saying in the congregation, and it's just a lie. It's just a tool of the devil to be used in that way, because nothing is beyond repair or restoration with the Lord. There is just nothing that is beyond that. I don't think there is. If you want to do the work and Christ needs to be the center of it, there is nothing that you can't get over and through. Amen. It may take a while. It's not an overnight thing, and we all like overnight stuff. But that book that said, I never promised you a rose garden. We didn't have a rose garden for a very long time, but the work that we put in was big. One of the best compliments we've ever received about our marriage, I think it was like our 19th wedding anniversary or something, and one of my sisters said to me, she was like cheersing us, and she's like, here's to 2 people that made it work. Yeah. And that are making it work. And I thought, oh my gosh, somebody sees that we're normal. We're human, and we are in the throes of life and kids and medical and ministry, and she sees and notices that we are making it work, that we are trying, that it is an action.
Here's the interesting part, and we didn't get into this too much, but I thought it was interesting, at least now looking back, was that, Holy Spirit still used us. That's the weird part. Right. Yeah. It's like we were still bringing people to the kingdom, where people are still getting saved. People are still, the Holy Spirit was still moving in the operation of our ministry gifts. That was weird.
Counseling. Have you ever counseled? And
we need the counseling.
We're talking about the stuff
saving marriages, and we're the ones that are needed
You're like
most.
Glaring at him as the point is made.
No, we get in the car, and I'm like, did you hear what we said?
Did you hear what you said? Did you hear what you just said? No, I did not. Yeah. So it just shows you how you can compartmentalize things so much. Yeah. You can make it. You could make this wall dividing all that stuff, and that's what it was. I mean, we compartmentalized so well that what happened at church, that was church stuff. That was doing kingdom business. What we did at home, that's personal. That Jesus doesn't need to be a part of that, and he wasn't, and that's why we had all the problems we had. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I heard somebody say to me very early on that the in ministry was, it can become the thing that fuels you. And it's sort of where you receive your identity, and it's sort of where you receive all your accolades, and how quickly that can change and turn sour at home, right? Because I'm not seeing myself as somebody who has value with my spouse, or I'm not seeing somebody as being championed by my spouse. It's more just what is the church saying, and what are people saying?
I mentioned that during the first week that there are celebrities, and we'll see some pictures of their relationship maybe in People magazine or something like that. pastors and being in ministry, it has a unique focus on the marriage. When Pastor Alex is speaking and he says something, people are going to look right at Amy to see if she's validating what he's saying, or is she rolling her eyes?
Yeah.
Right. And that's a unique setting that a lot of people don't actually go through. So it can be can be tough stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you both talked about grace as the turning point on Sunday. What's one way you learned to practice grace that felt completely unnatural at first?
You want to go?
I would say for me, it was a forgiveness thing. Like, don't let the sun go down on your anger really took a different turn for me when I realized that it was all internally in my own mind, in my own heart, in my own sin. Yeah. And when I realized that it wasn't sitting across from my husband every night and like, we weren't getting anywhere. I mean, I could talk a leg off of a horse and he's done. He cut out like 5 minutes,
I went to another room.
Yeah.
I went and slept in another room. That's
and
what
so
I would
then
do,
it's frustrating because now you don't want to work it out. And I feel like this is what we were supposed to do. And so, when I realized that we could deal with the conflict later and not hurt each other through it, and I could forgive him, and I needed to forgive him for the things that I felt he did wrong to me, and I needed to deal with that with the Lord. I didn't need to deal with him. I needed to deal with the Lord, and I needed to have my spiritual life intact. And, believe me, he can hold a grudge. I'll tell you that. I don't hold grudges because I grew up in a family that held grudges for an eternity. I mean, there's still some. Yeah. So I am very quick to be like, I'm sorry. I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to do that. He could hold a grudge for weeks. And so I don't like that. And I know that there's people in the congregation that are holding on to that and they're waiting for the apology. They're waiting for the acknowledgement of, I did this to you and I feel really bad about that and I want you to know. Yeah. It's not going to happen. And it may never happen. And that's what I counsel people on.
Isn't it amazing? There are people who just can never say, they'll apologize, but it is so coded and danced around. They will never say, I am sorry that I hurt you.
Yes. Yep. No, it's not good.
It's never going to happen.
And that's the part with the relationship with Jesus that I had to get to and say to myself, this is where I was able to start offering grace, was that I have to forgive him for these things, even if he never apologizes for it, never acknowledges it. I have to forgive that. I have to offer grace in that. I'm not a doormat. And for those that know me, I am not a doormat. This is not who I am. I don't allow people to walk all over me and stuff. And I fight for justice. And so this was a turning point for me in our marriage because I needed to offer that. And that was the only way I could. And it only happened through Jesus, that I'm able to say to Jesus, like, I brokenly am coming to you and saying that I forgive him for this stuff. Like, help me work through that. Some stuff I don't take that flippantly, and I know that there are people that are dealing with really big stuff in their marriage, and it's very hard to forgive. Some of this stuff takes a very long time to get forgiveness and to give forgiveness. I get that. I am not making light of that situation at all. But when I started living my life in this way, it was better. It doesn't mean that the stuff went away and I was like okay with it. Sure. That's not what it means. It means that I had to work through the healing process of the forgiveness and dealing with Jesus on it. And hopefully offering grace to him so that he one day will come and apologize to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know.
That grudge thing was bad. I mean, that was something that I carried on from the people I learned it from, that they did the same thing. And so for a long time, that's the way I operated. You're like, you did me wrong. I'm just never going to let it go. And I wouldn't. And,
even when I apologized,
even when she apologized,
it
was not good enough. And so eventually, I really believe there was a time where Holy Spirit broke me on that and just finally said, what are you doing? Because as long as I kept holding on to these grudges, there was never going to be reconciliation ever. Because my thing was I was looking for every opportunity to sandbag or to bring it up again, or to have a conversation about it, or to make a point that this is why I'm really upset, because of something that happened, and it's not even related to the current conversation, but it was something that was still in my heart that I was not letting go of. And it was kind of like what Hebrews, I think it's 13 says about the root of bitterness, gets involved. You let that seed grow in you, and you do become, very bitter about things to the point where your emotional interaction with your spouse doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just like your roommates. You're just hanging out. And that was what was happening, because it was so easy for me to, when we get into these discussions, arguments, or she would say, we got to work on this before we go to bed. For me to go, you know what? I'm not even dealing with you. I'm going to go in the other room and go to bed. I don't want to talk to you.
I'm sorry I laughed there.
Yeah.
When you were describing it a moment ago, she's talking to you and you just get up and walk away.
Yeah, get up and walk away.
I pictured her continue to talk to. She didn't even realize you had left.
Right. Yeah.
She's still going and you're not even listening.
I'm not in there.
I follow.
Yeah.
I used to follow.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had to
used
shut the
follow.
door.
It was
and
awful.
I'm like, I'd shut the door
Ugh.
and say, like, leave me alone. Don't talk to me right now.
It was awful.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, some of it was pretty childish, but it's great. Today, the thing that I find interesting about a relationship that makes it very successful for us is the fact that we don't let that stuff get to that heat anymore. We don't let it simmer. We talk about it. We deal with it. And it really comes down to the fact that I don't want to have that kind of relationship with her anymore. Mm-hmm. I want my partner. I want my friend. I want my fellow kingdom citizen with me in this marriage. And I don't want to have all that garbage going on. I don't know why. Maybe in a young marriage, it seems like there's a lot of validation for your feelings, and you think you should die on that hill every time it comes up. But at some point you realize it's not worth it. Not every hill that you come to, you have to die on just for the sake of what you think is right or what you think is wrong. There's we
have a little saying at our house, and this is not avoidance from dealing with stuff, right? But do you want to be right, or do you want to have a relationship?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
If,
That's really good.
If every hill you have to win,
Right.
you're going to lose, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
And you begin to learn that. And I think that's the secret sauce for us right now, is that we learn to do that. And I just don't really care anymore. I wait in my own head. I don't need her to tell me anymore. I can figure it out on my own now. Where this is not something that's worth it. I know what the outcome is going to be. I've seen it happen so many times before. I don't need to do it again. And so I'm just kind of like, you know what? Whatever. It's not a big deal. And
you have to do the George Costanza. Just do the opposite of whatever you're thinking, right?
Yeah. And it comes to a better solution. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're coming up on the end of our time here, but I do want to give you guys a chance. Your perspective is a good one, sharing about a hard time in your marriage where, you're thinking about calling it quits. And so for the folks who are going through it right now, Pastor Alex and Pastor Amy, they're in it. What's your encouragement for them today?
I would say, like I said Sunday, I would say to get your big girl panties on and do it, start in again. Like, look at it with fresh eyes. Maybe you need a biblical perspective. And so I would get that biblical counsel
So
from
get counseling, yeah.
Yeah. Or motivation, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. I like motivation. People look at counseling as a bad name, but, and to just sit with someone else, real with biblical mindset that can really look at it from a different point of view. But then also I would say to really work on your relationship with Jesus individually. And I would give it 6 months. I would say, do not throw in the towel today. Don't do it. Get the counsel, get the motivation, get your relationship right with Jesus, and then let's start working on this relationship and pull it apart. It's literally the conflict stage of marriage, and this is the issue. And you don't want to give it up for this. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're in it. Let's keep going. There is so much hope and so much awesomeness like coming down the road for you. If you get through this, if you get through it, there are blessings beyond blessings for that. And then you become partners and it just becomes this great Christian covenant that's there that you don't want to break. So I would say just
word. Yeah,
try and do it
good
again.
encouragement. The 6 month challenge.
Yeah. The 6 month challenge.
Get your relationship with Jesus right. There's a book in there for you, Pastor.
I think you did it. Yeah.
The 6 month challenge.
Well,
But it starts today. You
Yeah.
know, you can sit on this and you you can just do everything every week like you've been doing it, the same thing.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to put the work in,
Right.
it's not going to change. I mean, we have turned couples away because they don't do the work. And you know, we're putting in the work for you, but you're not doing the work.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get these. Let's change the statistic.
Yeah, right.
Especially in Christian marriages. Let's change it. We have the ability to do this and the ability to go through and to have really good, sold out Jesus covenant relationships.
It's great.
Well, and I would say to add just one more thing to your, you know, this struggle is not the issue in your marriage because everyone struggles. You have two sinful people that are learning how to be more like Jesus. You're going to have struggles. Bottom line, I don't care how long you've been married, how amazing you think, you know, your church life is, your Christian experiences or whatever. You're going to come to something that's going to be a struggle. What the problem is what we find a lot of times in our counseling with couples is the silence, is that they refuse to get help. They refuse to build a network of support. And they want to deal with it all in themselves, which is what Amy and I did. That's why we failed, because we hid it so well. We didn't want anybody to know that there's this chink in our armor that was so big for us. And so we hid it, and we struggled in silence, and we couldn't figure it out on our own, but we definitely were not going to tell anybody else. And there's a false opinion and a belief that if they bring it to anybody in the church, you know, it's going to be put on Facebook and it's going to be a public situation. That's not the case. I would say, you know, if you're in this church, you have quite a few people on staff that would be willing to have those conversations with you and talk to you and counsel you through this. And we all come from different experiences, and we can be able to speak into your life. And we're here fighting with you. I think that's the one thing people need to hear is that, like the pastoral staff that we have here, we don't want to point fingers at you and tell you what you've done wrong. What we want to do is we want to come in and support you and fight with you. And I think that's important.
It's kind of funny that our pastors have a really high code of ethics. You know, we're not going to tell anybody when you come, but it's amazing how many people will say, don't tell anybody. Then they go tell five people themselves, and then you're hearing it from other people. And, you know, that's kind of crazy to me. The myth of the greener grass. I want to speak to that just real quickly. There's this myth that, you know, the grass is greener over there, and if I leave this spouse and go get a different one or get somebody else's spouse, you know, the grass might be greener over there, but the watering bills are going to be higher. Right? There's a reason the grass is greener over there. It's because somebody's putting some time in there to grow that thing. So don't fall into that fallacy that, you know, it's going to be better if I leave my spouse. I can guarantee you it will be worse.
And
it will
if
be
you
worse.
have kids, with
they're the ones that always pay for it.
That spouse is never out of your life, so you might as well try and make it work.
So I'd like to close this idea down. I think we've spoken on some really, really big golden nuggets of hard truth that are not easy to carry. Okay, we've all done a good job on that. Pastor Ted did a teaching not long ago that literally made me go and study for myself. And the group of people are called the Moravian people. They are the people that sold themselves into slavery so that they could witness to their slave owners as well as other slaves. Now, they did that for the cause of Christ. For that person who feels like they're married to the most tyrant, terrible, awful person.
Paige.
Can you, for the sake of Christ, can you sell yourself to that person for the hope that they might get saved?
That would preach right there. That's good.
Let's go.
That's good.
It's big.
I'm going to drop the mic and walk out
That's
right
right.
now.
Yeah.
Well, an altar to go to right now, listener. You need to go to the Lord with that. I think that's such a good word for us to end on. Pastor Alex, Pastor Amy, thank you guys for being vulnerable, for sharing your hearts, and Paige for sharing your wisdom as always. And more listeners, thanks for checking in. We're so thankful for you, and you guys have a great week.
You have found us. More podcast, where we want you to know God more deeply, find lasting freedom, discover your destiny and make an eternal difference. Now,